All right. Welcome, gamers, to One More Game podcast, episode 22. Today is 14 August 2022, and we are One More Game. We talk video games. I'm here with Swiftmida. Swift, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
All right. And I'm ImPickleMatt. What's up?
Hey, how's it going there, old stroke?
Well, I got the vid, but there's that.
Still?
Yeesh.
Yeah, well, I think I'm about at the end of the run, but
Dude,
My
that's so
sister
20,
actually
that's
has
so
it as well.
2020.
does she?
Yeah, she has it. She apparently the first day was pretty rough, but she's feeling better overall. She just still has no taste or smell, which she says is the worst part, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened to me when I got it. Coffee was so bad. It was terrible.
Jen still doesn't like chocolate after she got COVID. She says it tastes like dirt.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
that's brutal.
So more chocolate for me in the Gibson household. Well, welcome if you're here in the chat / listening. Thank you for your loyal support and glad to be here for you for another week of One More Game. Like I said, we're, the podcast taking the very small gaming news niche by storm. We talk about video games, news, reviews, just a little bit of analysis on what's going on in the industry, and we talk a topic every week about gaming. This week we'll be talking about video game difficulty, but before that, boys, are you still licking your wounds from our Heroes of the Storm shenanigans?
Oh, I was emotionally over that within about 31.1 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. It was rough.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can figure it out. We need to. I think I have this like weird idea that might help us, and it's practicing as a 5.
Oh.
Team.
No.
Yeah, I know.
When has it ever worked for anybody?
You know what Allen
Breaking
Iverson
news.
says about practice, but
Yeah, true.
We're talking about practice. No,
all
it
right,
wasn't
cool.
Iverson.
Well, yeah, it's game 1, and if you didn't check out the stream, we got another one coming up Friday, but we'll be getting slowly but surely better. And like I said, we're in it for the fun of it, and somehow we have to find a way to have fun with our current state. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board and come up with another game plan, which we will.
Watch some tape. Get back in the film room.
Yep. All right, boys, let's get into the news for the week. All right, so first, to start off, there's been some leaks about Diablo 4. I know, big news. Not a whole lot of craziness. This is kind of coming from their friends and family beta that they got going on currently.
It's only on mobile.
Oh,
no.
What do you not have phones?
That's right.
And what they are showing is just some customization / difficulty settings for Diablo 4. So if you're wondering what those might be, the leak showed Adventurer and a Veteran. So Adventurer for people who kind of just want to do the story or new to the Diablo type games. And then Veteran is recommended for anyone who is well-versed in the Diablo universe and gameplay style. But these games are generally known for having many difficult settings. So it's interesting to see that there's only 2 to start with, at least. I know in Diablo 3 you have to go beat the campaign on hard before you can go to Torment, but 2 seems a little bit weird for these kind of games, but maybe they're changing it up a little bit. What about you guys? You Diablo guys?
I played
have
Diablo
never-
2 and 3 a little bit. I know Easy and his brother are super into it still to this day. But I don't know. After I die a certain amount of times, plus I don't really understand all the different things that you can do. I've never really truly gotten into it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I never
going
played
on
it
in those
either.
games, but
Yeah.
I've spent many hours in both 2 and 3. 3 was a roller coaster ride. They changed the game a lot. It was bad, then it was good, then it was really good. Now it's kind of updated every so often, but some people, that's their only game. So Diablo 4
Yeah.
Blizzard has a lot riding on this game, so we'll see how it goes.
Aren't there still people like
assuming-
playing Diablo 2 instead of Diablo 3?
Yeah, they resurrected.
I'm assuming that it still has a fairly big following, so it'll probably be popular out the gate. I just hope it's not another Lost Ark as far as like the hype to start, and then everybody kind of realizes that turns out you either pay money or it's just a grind.
Yeah. I think
So,
Diablo typically does a pretty good job about having like a valuable gameplay mechanic when it comes to getting gear and that kind of loop that they have at the end game, but we'll see. I think
I wonder if that
Go ahead.
difficulty, the only 2 difficulty settings are just because it's a beta. I have to assume that's the case.
Yeah, that might be the case as well. But yeah, we'll talk about game difficulty here in a few minutes. All right, next piece of news. Logitech is working with Tencent. If you don't know who Tencent is, they're a Chinese-based gaming company that has their hands in all kinds of stuff. They own shares in Blizzard, League of Legends, all that Riot, all that stuff. So they're working on a cloud-based gaming handheld. So think Game Pass, NVIDIA, GeForce Now, Google Stadia, all in one little handheld. And you can play cloud games from this gaming device. So I'm going to take this one with a grain of salt. These are 2 Chinese companies in a country that's having a massive gaming censorship thing going on right now. So I don't know how much I'm going to trust a device made by these 2 companies working together. Logitech products tend to be pretty good, but I don't know. A little wary, but without getting too political. This is something
I'm not gonna play or buy anything that is well, I mean, a lot of things are Tencent involved, but directly involved with that. That's, I don't know, for privacy concern, and then just it was actually interesting when I looked up I don't want to get political about it either, but when I looked up the news article, there was 0 mention of Logitech or Tencent really connecting with China and everything. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, if you just Google Tencent, you're going to find a lot of controversy there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you got to be careful about where you're reading your gaming or other news about it from, because a lot of those articles are not going to mention anything, because guess what? Tencent either has a stake in them or some other Chinese company does.
Yeah. I know you, Swifter, you're waiting on your Steam Deck, so I don't think you'll be jumping in feet first for this thing, but
nope.
It's interesting to see that someone's making a cloud-only based, like you're not going to be downloading, installing games on it. You're just going to play games from the cloud, which seems to be kind of the way that we're going. But anyways. Cool.
It's probably, it's smart for them
we
to
mention that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we mentioned it, a few weeks ago when we were talking about Game Pass and PS Plus or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's smart for them to diversify, because I doubt that. I think that they think probably that phone gaming will probably like start to dwindle away. The Chinese market's huge for mobile gaming, but with everybody making handhelds, why not? Because you'll pull in all those without cannibalizing. Maybe, I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see if this thing's not super expensive. Maybe just worth trying out, reviewing, or whatever. But cool. All right, another bit of gaming news in a weird, not so super fun way. But there's a legal battle brewing between Bungie and a game cheating company we all wish didn't exist, based on our last episode. But Aim Junkies is
Hide the Ball Clan.
Yeah, their company is escalating their legal battle against Bungie. So they're subpoenaing a bunch of companies, Google, PayPal, all kinds of stuff, claiming, number one, there's nothing technically illegal about cheating in video games. Bungie's claiming that they violated their copyright and user agreement stuff. Based on our last week discussion, I know we hate cheaters, but legally, guys, is there anything wrong with someone downloading a aimbot and cheating? You think is there anything wrong? Like, are they breaking any laws? I don't imagine.
Legally, no. I'm assuming morally, ethically, of course.
Yeah.
And I know, the president and whatever your congressman. They probably have a lot going on with inflation and other stuff, but let's just make it illegal to cheat in video games.
I'm for it.
Let's make it happen.
That's the platform I'm going to be running on in 2020, whenever the election is.
Yeah.
Make cheating in video games illegal.
I bet there's some parts where it would be illegal if it was part of a competition, because there's a lot of laws surrounding that kind of thing.
When there's money involved.
Compensation. Yeah. And then they could probably argue, depending on what kind of cheating it is, but if you're modifying code, maybe that code is proprietary and you're maybe like infringing on a copyright or something. I don't know what the argument is, but
yeah, that's Bungie's argument, is that they, one, violated user agreements, and two, violated copyright laws. And the whole point of this subpoena legal battle from this evil company called Aim Junkies is that they're trying to subpoena these companies to prove that they did not violate copyright laws, which is, I don't know how you would win that battle, but who knows. But it's cool to see Bungie taking like a staunch stand against these evil companies, but I don't know. Cool. There you have it. That's kind of the big stuff that's been going on in the news, gaming wise, throughout the week. Did you guys pick up anything else as we were hanging out?
Nope.
Not really.
Yeah, kind of slow.
In the chat, Imperial Rhino asks, since Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard, or they're acquiring them, is Diablo 4 going to be exclusive?
As of now, they're saying no, that the currently developed games, including Diablo and Call of Duty, they're not planning on being Xbox exclusives, but I wouldn't imagine in the future that some of those things might happen.
It makes sense short term, because if they were already developing it, you'd be cutting off a revenue stream with already some cost involved.
Right.
I also can't imagine they would want to alienate all the players on PS5.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
that
instantly
just more business for your game. You lose half your fan base basically if you make it an exclusive, specifically for Call of Duty, because obviously that fan base is still massive.
Right. There was one article that kind of came out that I thought was interesting, based on how PlayStation and Microsoft have been at least playing nicely as of recent. It was like in some Brazilian government interview or something, and they asked Sony what their thoughts on Microsoft's acquisition was, and there was a response essentially saying it's dangerous for the video game environment, and Microsoft's threat of making games like Call of Duty proprietary for Microsoft consoles is not good for the gaming industry. And then Microsoft fired back with something like, it's interesting that a company that literally pays game developers to not put their games on Game Pass would have a comment about our exclusivity. And I was like, damn. So
Sony do what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, so Sony apparently pays a lot of developers to not allow their games on Game Pass, which is interesting.
That is.
Wow.
Cool. Well, that's it for news in gaming this week. We'll just jump right into the next bit of our show, which is the Games Radar. All right, it's that time of year. Madden 2023 comes out on 19 August on all things. And guess what?
Fail.
There's new stuff.
There's brand new things.
There's new football stuff, like new skill-based free-form passing. It's 2022, and the sideline NPCs still look like robots that need WD-40 and something better than an Intel i3 from 2007. Yeah, the crowd animation from sports games. I mean, I don't know how you solve this problem, right? Because you can't make them look real, or else the computer would crash. But
yeah, I was about to say that's a massive ask on your GPU.
Okay,
to make every fan.
It's not the fan. When I was watching that trailer, the camera guy on the field, he gets like ran into, and it's the like 3-second delay, and then he like stumbles awkwardly in a non-human way. He like he doesn't ragdoll, he just stumbles in like a non-human way. I'm just like, yo, if we could dedicate just a little bit of CPU resource to like maybe his movement, if you're gonna put him on the field, like that would probably be ideal.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the last time that I actually bought a Madden game. It's got to be back in the tens, whatever we're calling it, the
Yeah,
teens.
the
Dude,
whole
seriously.
teens, yeah.
I was
It's,
never really good at, and I think we talked about this a little bit in an episode in the past, but I never played football, so I don't really understand what the defenses are or anything like that. So I was never really good. I used to buy them because would play with the boys, but at this point, I have no interest in buying another Madden game.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest, most of the kids who are really good at Madden didn't play football either, but
Yeah, maybe I'm just bad.
Yeah.
all right, cool. Well, there you have it. The 19 August, end of the week, you can pick up the new Madden, and I'm sure it's going to be way different than last year's submission. Who's on the cover? I don't even know. Brady?
No, I don't think so. Madden. I think Madden is actually, because didn't he die recently?
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, it might be John
yeah,
Madden.
yeah, it is John Madden on the cover.
I would expect like Matt Stafford or Aaron Donald or somebody from the Rams.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
Nah, John Madden as a tribute.
All right.
But just like the NFL preseason, I don't care about that game at all.
Yep.
All right, coming out on 18 August, not October, is on everything is a game called Cursed to Golf. Think of an arcade golf adventure game. It's got Sega Genesis graphics and NES music. PickleMatt, what did you see on this thing?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Golf Story. Did you ever play that game on Switch?
Yeah, I liked Golf Story a lot, actually.
So it's a little bit more like a little bit more arcadey in that golf is kind of just the mechanism for doing the arcade adventure. So you'll hit a ball and then you'll make the ball turn into like a rocket and it will shoot down to the place that you need it to go. But it's an 8-bit adventure game, and all the music, like I said, or like I wrote there, was just reminded me of a NES game, and it was really kind of retro. And I don't know, a lot of the indie developers are doing this retro type gaming. Looks kind of could be kind of fun.
Oh, it's 2D, huh?
Yeah, 2Ds from the side.
It's like a side-scrolling
golf game.
That's
cool. Weird.
Yeah,
here's some screenshots, but yeah, if you're in just listening, it's got a cool art style, very vivid. Almost looks like a platformer, but you're playing golf.
Yeah, like that's what it.
Super Mario.
If you watch the video, you'll recognize that like golf is just kind of like this setting of the game. Like you're not actually golfing. You're doing like skills-based adventure type stuff.
I mean, you are hitting a ball though.
Interesting.
That's true. At above the Grim Reaper there on one of those screenshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a fun little art style. Could be at least entertaining. This might be a cool one for Swift to check out if it's on Game Pass for his obscure gaming weekly review.
Oh
yeah, baby.
Oh, cool. There you have it.
I do like golfing, so
yeah,
I'm in.
18 August, and it's all yours. We'll see if that's on Game Pass. We got to find a way to figure out if these games we're talking about on the Games Radar are going to be on Game Pass. But anyways.
Yeah, there's this awesome tool I found that it's called google.com.
Oh.
I don't know if does that work?
I hate you.
I don't, but I just Googled it and it doesn't say anything about it.
Well, cool. All right. 16 August on PC and PlayStations is Rollerdrome. Rollerdrome is a third-person action shooter that seamlessly blends high-octane visceral combat with fluid movement and tricking mechanics into one complementary and challenging whole to create an original adrenaline-pumping shooter experience like no other. Okay, that's very wordy. We'll see.
Visceral.
I mean, what'd you think? This is a word soup.
I think it could. I think this one. Swift, did you get a chance to look at this trailer?
I did not. No.
I think this one it has a lot of potential. It's got the graphic style of like a Borderlands, and then so it's like you're on roller skates the entire time, but you're also doing a shooting game. So yeah. You're like doing these Tony Hawk style tricks, it seems like, as well as like shooting bad guys.
Oh yeah, it looks like Tony Hawk tricks mixed with Borderlands style shooting. Oh,
Yeah,
skill shot based. Okay, this could either
Yeah.
be really cool if the mechanics work well, or really bad.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The one thing that I think that would have been awesome is if there was a multiplayer, but it's only single player right now. I don't know if they have plans to add that.
Yeah, I mean some of the action scenes are pretty cool looking, but
Yeah,
It's
I think it
just
could be
it
awesome.
just stresses me out. I'm bad enough when I'm just walking around
yeah,
playing on controller, trying to shoot an NPC. Not to mention jumping off walls and doing skill shots.
yeah. The
It's
only
gonna go
people who are going to be
horribly
good
for
at
me.
this are like gymnasts who have like good spatial awareness while they're flipping and spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have to assume they've made it simpler than that, but it looks pretty awesome.
Cool. So that comes out 16 August for you guys, and I've got a cat visitor. But there you
Yeah.
have it. That is our games radar for the week. What's your guys' update on your Steam decks?
Oh, guess who got their order in last week? This guy.
So what is the timeline once you get just for my essay when they
Oh,
email
yeah.
you? What's the delivery time frame?
You got to order within 72 hours. And then I ordered it on Tuesday and I finally got the shipping label. Like it started shipping yesterday.
Okay.
So I will receive it a week and 1 day after I ordered it.
Yeah, I remember
it.
it took a couple days for it to actually ship once I bought it fully, and then yeah, a week or so.
And I was a July 29th, 2021 order. So if you're trying to cue yourself to that, I have no idea what that means with the ramped up production, but we're still pretty early in the queue.
Yeah, dude, you kind of got the short end of the stick there because you ordered last summer and I ordered this like late spring and mine's supposed to be your Q4, so
Yeah, the
kind of brutal for your timeline.
The first few weeks, I think a lot of people pre-ordered, and then I didn't get on it until I think a week later, and that kind of screwed me.
Yeah.
Oh, so excited for you guys! I love that thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
I can't wait.
All right, there you have it. There's our games radar. This is the part of the show where we normally would talk about a listener email, but we didn't have one this week. So if you want to reach out to One More Game, you can reach us at OneMoreGamePodcastGG@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to not talk about? Suggested topic. We've definitely had user or listener submitted topics before, and we'd love to talk and address your email live on the show.
And we can talk about games you like or something like that too, like games we may have missed on our games radar and stuff.
Yeah. So reach out to us, OneMoreGamePodcastGG@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. All right. If you there's another way you can support us on Twitch. If you're in the chat right now or you're listening, just go on over to twitch.tv/OMGpodcast and hit that heart. We need 3 followers to be affiliate. You can do it. You can be the one. You can be the hero.
3. Yeah, we're close.
Even if you are just listening on Apple Podcasts and you don't use Twitch, just do it.
Do it.
Why not?
We'll love you for it. We'll tattoo your name on right above our butts. Just kidding. No Manchester. But anyways.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. You want to talk about difficulty in video games? Because I know I do.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get in there. Major topic of the week, difficulty in video games. All right, so let's start off with this. Swift, what is the most difficult game you've ever played that you can remember?
Dude, I was looking at this and I honestly think that going back into the early days, I think maybe Lion King or Aladdin on Super Nintendo.
Those were really hard.
And those were obviously the beginning of the horribly difficult games. And I have recently changed that, and we'll talk a little bit about that when I get into games we've played this week.
I know where that's going.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What about you, PickleMatt?
Yeah, I definitely remember playing the first level of Aladdin a lot and not ever really playing the second or third level or anything after that a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Nice.
That's how those old games went, right? You would have like the first level of Sonic memorized, and then like the third and fourth one, you're like, oh man, I'm
Oh
not pretty
God
good at this.
Almighty! All right,
Unless you
here's.
had that cheat code that he talked about. But I did have one more. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go
Do you
go go.
remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh gosh.
That was
So
tough.
that game, like every one of them has like a way to beat them, but there was no guides or the internet back when I was a kid. I remember like playing this with my dad when I was like 7 or 8 probably. So like I didn't know who to ask how to beat like the guy with the who was it? The turban and the tiger that would
Yeah.
like do his magic and stuff, but that was a tough one.
Yeah, that was pretty hard. All right, I'm gonna show you guys a game. This is the hardest game, hands down, by far, ever made. Ghosts and Goblins. I don't know if you remember this game, but you're a dude and you're wearing a suit of armor, and if you get hit, you lose that suit of armor, and if you get hit again, you die. And you had 3 lives.
That's it?
To start the game. This is by far the hard. I think they did a remaster later on. I don't ever remember getting past like level 2 because this game is so hard. This was the original cover.
You literally got hit twice. Like you couldn't put armor back on. That was it.
Sometimes you could find armor throughout the map, but I think it was random through the power-ups. And just if you ever get into emulation, go try this and you'll agree with me. Hardest game ever made.
I bet finding armor in that game was like a hit of like heroin. It probably felt like you just like or some other addictive drug.
Yeah. So I've been told.
That's wild. I never played it.
Yeah, try it out.
I just Googled it while you were talking about it, and it says the most sadistic part of all of that occurs is if you actually beat the game. Capcom not so politely informs you that you've fallen for a trap devised by Satan and must complete the game again on an even higher difficulty setting if you truly want bragging rights.
What? No, there's no higher difficulty setting. Get out of here.
That's awesome.
All right. So, yeah, we're talking about, a lot of us mentioned older games. So let's go back to the old days and think about game difficulty, in the arcades when our dads were young men and chasing down girls and popping quarters in video games. So these places had to make money, right? And so once the game was created, the game is what it is. So the only way they're going to keep making money is if people keep playing a game. And if they beat a game, they're not going to keep playing it. So back then, arcade games were hard as shit. And yeah, like I don't know how they played those games because they're really hard. Asteroids is extremely hard.
Yeah.
And so they were just raking in the quarters. No checkpoints, no saves. It's just you, your skills, the joystick, and your quarters, however many your mom would allot. Or you could steal from your older siblings, but.
Or the dollar bill machine would let you have until you got to the 2 crinkly dollar bills.
Yeah.
That wouldn't get taken by the machine.
Yeah. So, and then the early consoles kind of adopted the same strategy. Atari, NES, Game Boy. There's no expansions. They needed games to have staying power in order to make money off of them for a while. So you couldn't beat them in a day, right? So they were just hard. Like the original Mario. Have you guys beat Mario? Super Mario Bros?
Nah, probably not.
I don't think I ever actually beat it.
Yeah, like there's very few people who actually go all the way through and beat it because it gets really hard at the end. You start doing like pixel perfect jumps to land right on a little tiny block to jump again, running full speed. But yeah. But over time, that philosophy kind of changed. I think probably with game save states and different types of games, obviously. But here's a question I'll pose to you guys from your early childhood game days. What do you think is the best no difficulty setting slider balanced game? Like not too easy, not too hard. I'll give you mine just so you can kind of think about that. But I think that Ocarina of Time had the perfect balance of not too hard, but not too easy. Like there were some very difficult parts. With one caveat, the water temple, way too hard. Get it out. Like remove that. What do you guys think? Any of them popping up in your head?
I think since you mentioned Zelda, I would say, just because it's fresh in my mind, Breath of the Wild is pretty well balanced and enough where it's a challenge and fun to go back to, but also, uh, well, maybe it was a little bit too easy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Swift? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to come up with something. I think you have a good point with Ocarina of Time. The dungeons were so intricate and challenging, but at the same time, there were other things that were kind of menial, that don't have to be hard, so they didn't make them
Right.
hard. Certain parts. So I think that's a great example of one that's extremely well balanced without having nowadays for most games that difficulty slider to be like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm over this. I'm going beginner.
I mean, I can't imagine like there was probably a lot of stress and thought put into the difficulty of games like that because like you ship that thing and that's your fans are going to start reacting to hating it or loving it. And so I know there's a lot of people who they want games to be hardcore, but you don't want to cut off a bunch of your audience, which is kind of why the philosophy started evolving, I think. Juiptar in the chat said, have you all covered the addition of Nunya yet? What's Nunya?
None of your business.
Nunya.
I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you for joining the chat. Let me know what that is. If it's a Nunya joke. Yep, you got
Yep, sure is.
None of your business.
Cool.
Got him.
Classic.
Yeah. Smells like Updog in here. Anyways. Cool. So yeah, game companies started to realize as video game consoles got more popular that the wider audience approach was probably better. So like the more difficulty settings you had, the more people would be able to get into your game. So what do you guys remember the first game that you can think of that had a difficulty setting?
I don't, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think, just like you brought up, I think it was super important as far as keeping gaming, kind of a big thing. Because obviously you have those hardcore players that want everything to be difficult or just have the time to dedicate to it. And then you have people who just don't have time, but they want a good story and they want to sit on the couch for a couple hours every week and
Right.
get through a game. So I really like the addition of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember GoldenEye did, right? So you had secret agent mode, and then like 007 was one of the difficulties.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the first one I remember.
That may be the first one. The first one for some reason, was popping up in my head was Halo, the original one, when it was like they had legendary campaign mode.
Yeah, legendary was a big deal back then.
If you weren't really a Halo player unless you beat it on legendary, obviously.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess I was never a real Halo player.
Yeah, get out of here, dude.
You didn't have all the skulls enabled? Or was that not Halo?
Well, the funny thing is you had to change the way you played a game based on the difficulty settings that you chose, right? Like Halo turned into a much different game when you were hiding behind a wall because one grunt could kill you and you ran out of ammo every 5 seconds, right? So
yeah.
I don't know how you guys did that.
Yeah.
On legendary. That's wild.
Here's I think one of the things that I think happened when the introduction of difficulty sliders is not as much thought went into like the balancing of the game, right? And so sometimes, just like we just talked about, the game changed so widely when you're on one setting versus another. Like in some games, if you're on easy, half the systems in the game are unimportant, right? You can literally just melee everyone to death.
Yeah.
But in other games, like The Witcher 3, that has difficulty setting, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
I'm sure it does.
If you want to beat that game on a hard setting, you have to use almost everything in the game, potions, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Whereas on easy, you're just killing people with your sword.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm terrible at, because I don't play games on Legendary or the hardest difficulty, because I will find one move like the square button does a
Yeah.
strong attack, and I will only use that, and I will never parry. I will dodge and I will square.
Nice.
I would be terrible at Elden Ring probably. I don't know.
I just dodge a lot. Dodge, jump,
Yeah.
strike, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man, have you guys started playing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
There's so
The
many of
amount
the
amount of
move
moves in that
trees.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only did 2 of them. I would only ever do 2.
I mean, God of War is the same. There is a ton of moves.
True.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so balance issues kind of became a thing. Some games also had the problem that they had multiplayer involved, right? So you're trying to balance the difficulty settings, and then now you're throwing those same things into the multiplayer environment. So they've had to kind of come up with ways to work difficulty settings into the game. World of Warcraft is a perfect example, right? Like you can do a looking for raid, or you can do a mythic raid, right? So some games have made smart decisions or not so smart decisions about like how people can progress difficulty wise. What are your thoughts on that kind of stuff? Like, do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you really care? Like, do you just want to play casually? Do you think somewhere deep down inside there's a hardcore raider in there? Or
Well, I mean, that was always my goal when I was playing, is to get to that top echelon of rating. And, we talked about adding macros and
yeah,
all the like literally studying mechanics on YouTube, watching the number 1 through 5 guild in the world running it, and that's how you learned how to do all of it. I never got there, obviously, but I think especially in something like World of Warcraft, where it's open world, right? Everybody is playing the same game. You can't add hey, when you make your character, let's make this an easy game or
yeah,
challenge game. Like it's just not possible in a game like that. So I think the addition of that looking for raid versus like a normal, you queue up with 10 of your buddies or guild mates versus the mythic difficulties. I think it's important, and I think that probably a lot of people appreciate it. I know I did when I was, especially when you get to end game, because I was never one of the fast levelers.
right.
So everybody was already raiding when I got there.
I didn't
so
have
the only way for me to get gear was to do those LFR raids,
right.
to start.
And if you don't have 25 buddies who are in the same kind of general timeline of the game with you, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, you had to put I remember when I was playing it pretty seriously in high school and college, you literally had to fill out like a resume to join guilds, to raid.
What's your experience?
It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I remember that, dude. It was like, apply to the guild. Let us know.
Yep.
You had to give them your schedule, tell them how many dungeons raids have you done, and it's like, dude.
Yeah, and they asked you like 25 questions.
Do you have a girlfriend? Yes or no? If yes, you're out.
You're out. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Destiny has this kind of same structure where you can do easy stuff and then move up to Grandmaster stuff and all that. But it definitely does bring some downsides in, right? Because there's certain weapons or game interactions, because they're already in the game, especially with a PvP element, that there's certain weapons that you have to have, everyone uses to beat certain encounters on certain difficulty settings, that it kind of becomes more, I don't know, trivial because you're just using exploits to beat stuff. But whatever. Well, cool. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you, PickleMatt, are you fire up a new game? A game you're super... All right, God of War Ragnarok's coming out. Are you going to put it on normal?
Medium.
Okay,
You're
a middle of the road guy.
I just don't have time to like deal with the frustration and dying 1,000 times kind of situation with a kid now. And
don't play Elden Ring.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't want to rip through the story and just not like have fun with the challenge, but like I don't know. I guess what I do like is when games will let you change the difficulty in certain spots and then
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah, I think The
So
Witcher, once you pick, you're locked in. I'm not sure.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong,
think-
chat, but
I think God of War was where you could change it back and forth, which was nice because I never changed it to easy, but I would occasionally switch it over to the higher difficulty just to have some fun.
no, it's okay if you switch to easy.
Yeah, it'll
Nah,
be
dude.
fine, dude. You can admit
I beat
it.
the Valkyrie on normal, baby. The final Valkyrie.
Wear the t-shirt.
Yeah, beat her on normal.
Nice. What about you, Swift? Are you a hardcore legendary? No, obviously you said you didn't beat Halo.
No, dude, I'm the same way. I start middle of the road, and I typically keep it there.
Yeah.
I don't like to go harder than that. Typically, like I'm not gonna be that guy that's like, you know what, this feels a little bit too easy for me. I'm gonna bump it up. No, I'm just gonna stick with middle of the road and call it good.
Nice. I'm definitely I've transitioned in life, so to speak. I used to be the person who every time I fired up a new game would start on the max setting. Halo, legendary. Diablo, permadeath. Diablo, like you die, you're done.
Yeah.
Once I had kids, this is a little embarrassing, but every time I turn a game on, I pick the super casual mode, story only thing I care about because I just want to play and see the story. That's all I care about.
Yeah. No,
So
I don't blame you at all for that.
Yeah. Which is funny because I don't like to use guides, but I also want it to be easy as possible. So it's interesting.
See, chat and listeners, there's no shame in playing games on easy. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I played God of War on. I think I don't even know what they called it. They called it something not insulting, but some games have like insulting names for the easy mode.
Yeah.
I should have looked some of them up. I forgot. While you're hanging out, PickleMatt, look up some. You probably can find a Google article about like funniest difficulty setting names or something.
10. There's a number one article is 10 video games that will insult you for playing on the easiest mode.
Yeah.
Mickey
Cool.
Mouse Castle of Illusion is on there.
Oh boy. Disney just going for the heart. Well, cool. Let's talk a little bit about some of the outliers when it comes to difficulty in video games. So the first one that pops up in anyone's mind is the Souls games, right? Anything from Software. So these games are interesting because there's a huge fanboy following that says if you can't play these games, you're not a real gamer, blah, blah, blah. And they're all very vocal on Reddit and everything. But generally, the way these games work is you pop in, it introduces you to the world, and then immediately you get thrown into like a crazy boss fight. And the game goes, here is what this game is. If you can't beat this guy, just return it. Like, just sell this thing. So Swift is encountering that right now with Margit in Elden Ring, but
so there's some really fun. Oh, Earthworm Jim is on there. That was a good game.
Yeah, that was good.
So on Twisted Metal 2, you could start the story on easy, and there was only one boss to defeat. And after you defeated that, you weren't allowed to progress, and it would say no losers allowed beyond this point.
Nice.
And then Civilization, I didn't know this. If you win on easy, it always would sum up your performance as Warren G. Harding, which is the worst president
ever
in American history.
Brutal.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, I think Doom kind of has some funny ones. I can't remember exactly the names, but all those hardcore games. Cool. So yeah, Souls games, man. I'll tell you, Elden Ring is the first one I ever picked up. I remember watching videos of Dark Souls, and I'm like, why? Why would you do this to yourself? Like, this looks unbeatable. But something about Elden Ring, man. It's got the gameplay mechanics and loop have their claws in me.
Oh my gosh. Doom might have been one of the first ones with the skill. It looks like either Doom 2 or 3 right here has the skill level of, and I remember these. I'm too young to die. Hey, not too rough. Hurt me plenty. Ultraviolence and nightmare mode.
Yeah, see, I nightmare right away for me back in those days. I think maybe that's what Elden Ring is for me, is that little bit of legendary gamer still living inside there somewhere that kind of like entices me, but it is very satisfying.
Grow a pair of the stroke right in the back of your brain.
Yeah.
Like I'm so disappointed in what you've become.
I know Swift is going to talk a little bit about in games we play, but man, like Elden Ring aside, have you ever, did you say you tried Dark Souls 3 and stopped right away? Yeah.
Yep. I got Dark Souls 3 for the PS4. I don't know why. Right when it came out, I was like, that looks horrible. Might as well try it. I think I played for a total of about, call it 34 minutes. And I was like, nope, I'm not putting myself through this. I can't do it.
Nice. I think even the hardcore Dark or Souls fans think that Elden Ring has too many ways to make the game easy with magic and multiplayer summoning and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, you're just giving players options to not like throw the game away. You know what I mean?
Right. I think they've done something really cool with how they did it, because it is very difficult and it appears to be very difficult, and you kind of have to do some digging it doesn't straightforward tell you how to do that to make things easier. So you do have to kind of earn it, but
yeah, I got a iMessage from my buddy watching. He said Unwanted, the game on easy setting, was called Pussy.
Are you serious?
Which probably would not fly these days.
Yeah,
it's very kind of crazy, honestly, that they would do that. But then he said Ninja Gaiden was impossible to beat on medium, let alone hard. And I remember Ninja Gaiden being very difficult.
The game was hard.
Yeah.
Well, you are what you eat, Anyways. All right. Another type of game that I think has a huge just difficulty curve that is hard to deal with sometimes is bullet hell games. So think Enter the Gungeon, Binding of Isaac, Cuphead is another one that I can think of.
Oh, Cuphead.
Where they're just nonstop adrenaline-inducing dodging, shooting, hiding behind stuff, and it's just like this constant action that is very. And there are some points in some of these games where almost every inch of the screen is covered by something that can hurt you.
Oh, do you remember Geometry Wars on Xbox? When you got later on in the levels? Oh my, that game was really fun. That was a bullet hell one though.
Yeah. So did you get any bullet hells ever?
No, I never have. I know, I think ImPickleMatt talked about Enter the Gungeon as far as potentially Cult of the Lamb looking like Enter the Gungeon-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier and lighter than Enter the Gungeon for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. I haven't played any of them.
Yeah, Hades
probably for good reason.
Yeah, sometimes Hades has a feel of a bullet hell it's more of a asymmetric style. But yeah, there's
the dodge roll. I think it's L2 on my Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure is what kind of broke my left Joy-Con. I think it was L2
from hitting it
from Enter the Gungeon
aggressively over and over.
You'd be smashing that.
You're just nonstop dodge.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Nice. Yeah. So those games are insane. Some of them have a difficulty setting. Enter the Gungeon does not, I don't think. But yeah. All right. And then there's some other ones that. All right. Let's talk about this. Maybe this is a whole nother topic for another time. But do you guys know what the difference between a roguelike and a roguelite is?
Nope. I had to Google it, man.
All right.
I cheated.
So if you don't know what Rogue is, it's an old game that was out in 1980 on ASCII, only for the hardcore computer gamers. But essentially, the big things about it were it was a procedurally generated map, so it was never the same game. And then when you died, you died. That's it. Like, playthrough is over, start over, and you're playing a new game because it's procedurally generated. And it also kind of had like a hack and slash feel. Think Diablo, lots of monsters, and you're kind of running around killing lots of stuff.
And you said this was ASCII? Like
Yeah.
just like on what's the command prompt kind
Yeah,
of thing?
on command
looking?
prompt. Yep. Yeah.
Holy
Let's
cow.
see if I can pull up a picture of it. But yeah, so this game came out, and it was kind of like the hardcore gamer like thing. At least back in those days. But I mean, we're talking very simple look and feel, right? Cool. So a roguelike, I don't know how all of this gets decided. There must be some council of difficult game men that meet men and women that get together and talk about this. But
You haven't been invited?
no, I'm not yet.
All right.
But they've decided that in order to be a roguelike, your game must encompass permadeath. So no starting over and being a little bit better than you were the last time. It's just a completely new playthrough. It has to be procedurally generated, hack and slash. I think that's about it. So there you have it. That's a roguelike. That phrase gets tossed around a lot for any game where you die and then start over, which is more of a roguelite, which think Hades, Hollow Knight, things like that.
Returnal.
Yeah,
PS5.
Returnal. Even Elden Ring, right? You die and you have to go get your stuff, but you're kind of starting from, I don't know, your save. Dead Cells, right? You die, but you get a little bit better every time. You're still making progress towards improvement. So those are roguelites. Okay.
Enter the Gungeon would qualify as that too. Just a bullet hell roguelite.
Right. Cool. So some of these kind of cross borders, but anyways. Okay, so there's a really cool discussion about history of roguelites and likes. Anyways.
What the heck did you have to do in this game?
I don't know. You just killed
green rectangle
dots,
with a nugget.
Procedurally generated Pac-Man levels.
I think you just killed these dots. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was a good game. I'm just saying it did something that other people didn't have.
1980s.
Dude, it looks really good.
Yeah.
You know what were computer games in the 1960s? Landing real people on the moon.
Yeah, America.
That's what they were doing.
Cool. PickleMatt, I know you fired up Hades for a few minutes. Swift, I think you played Hades a little bit, didn't you? Or no? You were going to?
Yeah, I started it.
Oh, cool.
Haven't gotten into it all that much, but
that one has a really cool
and played it.
Not only does your progress kind of continue as you die, but the story, like you dying is a part of the story. And it's really cool how they work it into the different story beats. Because every time you die, the story kind of progresses a little bit and you're figuring it out as you go. Plus it mixes in Greek mythology, but that game kind of nails that whole die, repeat, progress a little, die, repeat, see how far you can go. And procedurally generated.
If you guys, since you guys have the PlayStation Plus, I would check out Returnal as well. They do the storyline for the live, die, repeat scenario. Really awesome. I think I've talked about that before.
Sure did. Cool. Dead Cells. You played this, right, PickleMatt?
Yeah, I did. That's good.
I liked how they did that. Like, really, really creative. But Swift, you played Dead Cells?
Nope.
You might like that one. I think you probably like that one. That's got a
we should do an episode on like games that how good games can be without a lot of resources. Like Dead Cells came out when, like God of War was coming out.
Right.
But like there's graphically there's not much going on. Like Enter the Gungeon. Still an incredible game.
Loop Hero. Celeste. Yep. Yeah, a lot of these low
Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Hollow Knight's kind of crazy though, because it's all hand drawn, painted. There's actually a lot of data behind it that you don't really get.
That's true. Same with the Cult of the Lamb, I think.
Yeah, all hand drawn stuff. Well, cool. What is the most deceptively difficult game you've ever encountered where you're like, oh, I'm gonna fire this thing up, and they're like, holy, this is way too hard?
I mean, like we talked about, like you pop a Disney cartridge into your Nintendo, and you're like,
plays the
cool,
Aladdin
Disney.
music. Oh yeah, it's great.
Exactly. Like What the hell? I can't escape the
Hakuna
Cave of Wonders.
Matata. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
For me, the Donkey Kong game that was on Switch, Deep Freeze, Donkey Kong Country
Tropic
Deep
Freeze?
Tropic Freeze, that's the
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Tropical Freeze. Yeah.
I don't even think I beat
I
3
love
levels of
that
that game.
game.
Oh my
I
god.
love that game.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was called Sim Hospital. It wasn't 2 Point Hospital, but it was a hospital game, like a sim one. And I remember all the people dying in my hospital.
Rip.
I was like, this should be not that hard, but I didn't have the right equipment or the
Yeah,
right people in my
Turns out
hospital.
running a hospital is actually hard.
Yeah.
Weird.
Nice. What about you, Swift? Anything catch you off guard? I know you talked
Dude, I
about
don't
that
know.
story about Shannon and Crash Bandicoot Remastered, but that game is they screwed up the remake. Something is messed up.
Also, to be fair, Shannon is not a gamer, so
Yeah.
it didn't go well. But again, I think just like the Disney, you hear the Disney music, you're like, yeah, I love this as a kid, and it turns out you're not gonna for very long.
Yeah. I've had a few encounters with games where like it's chill, and then bam, slaps you right in the face with like a boss that you're like, I'm never gonna beat this. But
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Well, some of my difficulty comes from that will happen to me. It's because I've done my only dodge and then square
you only know
attack.
one way to play it.
Exactly, and you
Yeah.
have to like parry in order to beat this guy, and I'll never be able to do it.
I think I'm starting to run into that with Elden Ring because like I can dodge and then I can whatever it's called, not parry, but like react if they hit my shield, and then I do a counterattack. But
yeah.
I can't parry. Like I don't know how you parry. I know you hit the button with your shield, but like everything is timed differently. I've never parried successfully. Maybe I need to practice. I don't know.
Dude, I've been parrying Margit to no avail, but I have done it multiple times.
To no avail. I die every time. but
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is perfect that against all enemies, and you'll be like, what was his name? Thurston Fister or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And your
Lance and
character can't be
Fister.
wearing
Lance
clothes.
and Fister. Nice. Well, cool. That's kind of our discussion on game difficulties. You got. Oh, here's one game that does a good job with it. Is Cuphead. It's all happy-go-lucky looking, drawn with like a 1920s Disney art style. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Hard is so hard, but the
That
boss.
is a difficult game.
Yeah. It's
Really?
cool, though. Oh yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah. And then you'll like the 1920s cartoon style is already creepy. It just makes it so much worse when you die so many times to these cartoons.
Yeah. Nice. Well, cool. You guys got anything else to talk about? Game difficulty?
Nah.
No,
I didn't see a
I
whole
think
lot
I'll
in the chat. Yeah, we'll talk about
a
it.
little bit more about it.
All right, gentlemen. If you guys would like to hear us talk about a difficult game that you encountered, you can reach out to us at OMG_podcastGG on Twitter and Instagram. We'd love to hear those games out there that just got you perplexed. And we'll show you how to beat it on a walkthrough because we're the best.
Yeah, call the Nintendo hotline.
You can call OMG hotline. It's $3.99 a minute. Operators are standing by. All right. Well, then let's get into what we played this week. Sweet. Pickle Matt, lead us off, brother.
Are we going to talk about our Heroes of the Storm venture that we did?
Yeah, talk about your thoughts. What'd you
Talk
I
it
mean,
up, dude. Talk it up.
It's kind of like the first time you had sex. It was over before you knew what was going on.
And there was just a lot of disappointment.
Yeah.
It kind of went, I don't know. I was a little cautiously optimistic when we got the worst league possible, but then I realized halfway through the game that we were playing that we're still playing with people that participate in a league for a game that's dying. And
Right.
I saw all of their avatars were the exact same and they were all high level. I was like, oh no, this is not going to go well.
Not like this.
Not like this. So yeah, we lost pretty thoroughly, pretty quickly. So if you want to watch that stream, check out the last one on OMG podcast. I don't know. I just like that. We've been playing ARAM so much where it's just PvP and not a lot of objective based, and like clearly the objective based portion is very important to that game, which makes me wonder if that's the reason that game is dying, because that was boring and
Yeah,
terrible.
it almost felt like there was nothing we could do to combat what was happening, right?
And I'm sure if you're a better team that knows how to play as a team, then that would be fun, and like there would be actual fights and stuff. But beside that, there's no way I'm going to ever be that good with any kind of team. So I don't know. Whatever.
We'll get there.
It was fun. It was still fun. Fun to hang out with the guys on a scheduled playtime. Cool. Other things I played another 30 minutes of Stray because my kid wanted to hear the meow button again. And
You're going to slowly
just
beat that
can't-
game 30 minutes at a time.
I was about to say, you
Yeah,
just
I know.
can't get away from it.
It's just not. I'm not impressed still. So maybe give me a shout out on the email if there's like something I'm missing here, but nah. Okay. And then I played Hades for about 15 minutes, and then I got the Steam Deck email, and I just decided that I was going to play that on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And then I knew I wanted to get Cult of the Lamb because I saw the reviews were really good. So then I just switched over to that. I didn't want to play 2 roguelites at once.
Huh.
But Cult of the Lamb, really kind of a fun game. It kind of combines like a Stardew Valley Animal Crossing feel with a roguelite kind of attitude there, but the roguelite portion is not that difficult from what I've seen so far. I beat the entire first set of 4 bosses and I didn't die a single time. So it's not too difficult if you want to get into it, but just the game itself is really, really funny.
You've already beaten all 4 bishops?
No, I beat 1 bishop and I didn't die. So I was like, this game's not super, super difficult yet, at least.
Yeah. What day are you on in your timeline?
I think I'm on
if you remember?
day like 25. Dude, I got so caught up on the cult building portion of it that I spent like 4 days farming instead of just like going back into the dungeons.
Dude, I'm doing the same thing.
Sweeping up my followers' poop and making new rituals happen.
Got to use it as fertilizer. You know what I mean?
Has any of your followers gotten elderly yet?
I have 1 elderly.
Oh, dude, that was a shot to the gut. I was like, oh, I didn't know this could happen. And then I was thinking like I hadn't unlocked the graves yet, like making a body pit. So then I had to hurry up and unlock it because I knew my follower was going to die. Yeah. Because I didn't like, what am I going to do with that body after he's dead?
Yeah, I know.
I got to do something.
Dude, it was so sad. Earlier, I played for like 2 hours earlier, and I was talking to the elderly guy. Like walk up to him and talk to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm old." He has like his cane. He's like, "I'm old, but I still got a few days left in me." And I was just like, "Okay, just go sleep it off, guy. Go to bed until you're not tired anymore."
Dude, I had a follower come up to me, and he was like, because they'll give you like little mini quests, your followers. And he's like, my deep, dark desire is to eat a bowl of shit.
Yep. I just got that one.
It's like, what the fuck? And it was like, can you help me with this quest? And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. I want more experience and devotion. So the quest was literally grab some shit from somebody that had just used the bathroom and then just like cook it over the fire and then hand it to him. It was very easy. And
at least you cooked it.
Yeah, you have to. It's a bowl I think it's bowl of poop or something is what the
PickleMatt went from mortuary's assistant to a game where you serve freshly warmed sheet.
Nah, but if it's like what, $25 right now. I mean it's pretty fun. The art style is cool. The mechanics, the combining of the like Animal Crossing mechanics with the roguelite is something I hadn't seen before, which is cool. And then it'll give you some laughs. So I recommend it. Cult of the Lamb.
Nice, dude. All right, Swift. Since you're talking about Cult of the Lamb, why don't you follow up?
Yeah, I'll talk about that one first. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm on day like 15 or something of my adventure. I think I have 12 or 13 followers in my cult right now.
Wow.
But just like you talked about, the stuff that, because you can just go out and neglect your followers and do like the missions to get after the bishops, but you really have to spend like a solid amount of time in your camp, like cleaning up poop and planting flowers. I finally got a scarecrow
Oh yeah, that's big.
because I would plant these, herbs and stuff and berries, and every time I would go back, these birds would just be there and they would steal all of it. And I was just like, okay, well, next unlock is a scarecrow, so now they don't do that anymore, thankfully. I'm enjoying it. The combat's fun. The story is hilarious. And I think it's so funny because you have like dialogue in the bottom as far as subtitles, but the
Yeah.
language that all of these things speak, it just sounds like like that's them
Yeah.
speaking, and then it reads out like the subtitles. I It's so funny. I don't know,
Dude, your scarecrow moment was just like my doctrine of murder moment. So have you had a dissenter yet?
no, I'm keeping
Okay,
him
so
very
this
happy.
He's a good cult
just
leader.
Yeah.
oh my god, I was keeping him happy too. But so I had a dissenter, and when you get a dissenter, they have a little bar at the top, and I think if it fills up, they like will convert other people and leave. But he like walks around with like this bullhorn thing and trying to convince other people. And so I was like, well, shoot, and then you have the option to like re-educate them every day. So I was trying to re-educate him, but it wasn't bringing the bar down enough. So I was just like, well, I'm unlocking murder now. And then I went and killed him.
Jeez.
I sacrificed him. And
Yeah.
that solved the problem.
This is such a dark podcast.
It's very good. It's very funny.
Because all the cult members are these like cute little animal things too, with like big
Yeah.
eyes. So it's just really funny.
So again, that's 2 or 3 of us that would recommend it. It's a pretty good game so far. Other than that, I played HOTS like we talked about. Yeah, we got our butts handed to us in Storm Lake, but we're gonna actually get some practice at some point, and maybe we'll do better. Played a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn. Still enjoying it. I finally am out of the starting area, and I can take over the robots now, which is cool. So enjoying having a ride now when I don't feel like walking. And then the biggest game that I wasted my life on this week is Elden Ring. And I don't say that to mean I'm not having fun, but
I'm not having fun.
Okay, so I played for, I don't know, I think my playtime went up by like about 6 hours this week.
Yeah.
The day I started playing again because I had kind of been avoiding it, but you were Taze, you were on, and nobody else was on, and you were playing Elden Ring, and I was like, all right, I'll just get back in there and see what I can make happen. Leveled up a bunch by fighting a singular troll. Just grinding that one troll. Yeah. No
Sounds
so
like
speak
college.
required. Yeah. But leveled up enough, I thought. Finally got to Margit. Dude, I was so cocky because I leveled up to like 22 and then was just running through these ads prior to getting to the castle.
Oh yeah.
Just not even an issue. Running around with my twin blades on my horse, 2 hits, dead, nailing it, get some more experience. Oh yeah, ready to go. And then I show up to Margit. You actually helped me out earlier by telling me how to summon creatures.
Yep.
Or like the Ashes of War, whatever they call it. So tried that. I also have a buddy that I summon, not an actual person, but right in front of Margit, you can that sorcerer that you can
Oh yeah,
summon
he'll help you.
to help you out. I now have died to Margit 47 times. I still have not beaten him. I texted you right after, because as soon as I learned how to summon the beast, I have these like 3 wolves that just go ham on this dude,
yeah, they're
right?
good.
So the wolves are going crazy. I get him to like, no kidding, 3-4% of his health. He has a lot of health. It's really annoying. But get him to 3-4% of his health, die. And then the following 4 attempts, he hit me with a move that was like a slice up with his cane, and it knocked me off of the walkway. So I died instantly, despite having half my health. I still have not gotten back to that 3-4%, and I don't know that I'll ever beat him. I literally turned it off earlier because I was basically banging my nugget against the wall because I just kept dying, and I was just like, all right, this is going off. I'm going to Cult of Lamb for a couple hours. Like, that's it for now.
Here's my advice for that. Just like the final Valkyrie, you fight her for 5 hours. You go to sleep pissed, and then the next morning you'll beat it on the first try, guaranteed.
Dude, I don't know.
Tomorrow.
And it makes me so upset because it's literally the first boss in the game. Like, I'm not going anywhere in this game. Let's be honest. But I did mention it earlier. I learned how to parry. But he's just too quick. So I would parry him and like break his stance. It feels really satisfying. And then he would just break out that hammer and
smash you.
Shit. Yeah. It's just so brutal.
Does Margit do that standard really annoying video game thing where it's a second health bar?
No.
No.
It's a single health
thank
bar.
God.
I haven't encountered that in Elden Ring at all. I've only had I think there are bosses that have multiple phases, but I haven't found much like that.
That's like an entire subreddit, second health bar. The meme of a video game thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my Elden Ring experience this week. Hoping I don't break 50 deaths on this guy, but that means I really have to nail it in the next couple. We'll see.
You got this too. Just
yeah,
visualize it,
probably will.
Believe it, and you can achieve it. That's what my elementary school teacher told me.
So brutal.
Nice, dude. Well, I'll get right after that Elden Ring commentary. I have been playing Elden Ring on my Steam Deck a lot because I had to babysit a bunch of kids because of COVID. But, dude, I got to tell you guys something crazy that happened in this game that makes it the coolest video game I've ever played. All right, so I'm in a dungeon that I randomly found while wandering the wilderness, right? There's just like, I find someone's little note on the ground. It's like, secret cave this way, and I go into the cave, right? It opens up into this huge dungeon. Like, I start doing a full-size dungeon. I'm like, oh, there's going to be a boss at the end of this. As I'm doing that, I kill this big old troll, and behind him, there's like a little alcove, and I go into the alcove, and there's someone's little note, and it says, secret wall in front of you. Like, it's an actual wall. You would have never known. You don't have to go through this wall to beat the dungeon. The rest of the dungeon continues off in a different direction. So I go in and I slash at the wall, and the wall disappears. So there's some of that in this game where you find secret walls. And like I told you guys last week, a lot of people will troll you with that and say like, secret wall ahead, and then another guy will say liar ahead, and then yeah. So you're skeptical every time you see one of these things, but this one was actually one of them, right? So I go down there, and I'm like, oh, this will be cool. There's probably like another treasure chest or something. I go in there, and it like starts going downhill down these stairs, and inside there is a dungeon, full dungeon, bigger than the original one that I was already in, like massive. It has its own map and everything. That I would have that I could have never found, that someone in this game may have never found had they not known that walls could be secret. And I was just like, what a crazy, cool, like piece of discovery that you can build into this game that you can. So yeah, I've never experienced that kind of detail in any other game. It's really cool.
I wonder if
Yeah,
there's
it's
dungeons
crazy.
out there or like fractals of dungeons that have not been discovered in Elden
That's
Ring.
what I'm wondering. Like, are there things? Because there's notes all over the map if you leave that setting on. Do you have those on, Swift?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
They're
of them are
funny. I
yeah,
love
some
it.
are so funny.
There's
Every
some
time there's a
developers-
turtle, they're like, it says, "Why is it always dog?" or "Dog ahead." It's so funny. Anyways, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. I'm like level 47. Samurai. I still don't have enough intellect to do magic, so I'm working.
I think I might start over and go with a magic character.
Yeah, that might be a better.
The samurai, because I'm a samurai too, and I just can't. Oh man,
You got to be up in there.
Yeah.
I just beat this boss that literally is in this dungeon, and at the end of it was this giant cave. Like the scale was, I don't even know how to describe it, and the monster that was in there was like massive, like tower, like a building, and I finally beat him. And not 47 attempts worth, but he died. He went down a little quicker than that. I'm starting to figure out
Yeah.
like the mechanics a little bit, but.
There you go. Just rub some dirt in that wound. That'll
Here's
be
my
fine.
strategy with bosses now with those wolves. I get them down, some health down while I still have health potions. Like I'll chunk down their health to like a quarter missing or something. And then I'll find a moment where I've got some space and I'll summon the wolves at that point to keep him distracted enough to get like his health down faster, because they kind of survive for a little while.
Yeah.
so
They
that-
actually have a pretty big health pool. The
Yeah,
wolves. I
that's-
was surprised about that.
And you can level those up, by the way.
Okay.
Look through your inventory, and there's certain things that can level up your summons. But anyways, yeah, I love that game. It's great. And
Man, Tractor Beam will be so proud. I hope he's still watching.
yeah, I haven't heard
Or
from
listening.
him.
Yeah, right.
But... Cool. Other than that, dude, I didn't do all that much. Played Heroes of the Storm with you guys, and yeah, I'm used to this league, so I kind of knew what we were getting into. I think our main issues, obviously, we don't practice enough, and then we don't have the hero pool knowledge enough to like react to what they're drafting and things like that. You guys are just operating on a very like limited pool of heroes that you know how to do well with, so that's kind of probably our main issue.
Yeah.
But
doesn't help. That's for sure.
yeah, unfortunately, the only answer to that is time. Cool.
Time in a dead game.
But we'll get in there. I promise the listeners we will win one game, not match.
One round.
Game. One more game. We'll win one game. Cool. Dude, other than that, I played a little bit of Fortnite, but that's about it.
Oh, actually, I did too.
I 100%ed Astrobot. I forgot to say that. Astrobot's Playroom.
Yeah, platinum, baby.
Yeah, got it. Is that what they call it in PlayStation? Platinum?
Yeah, you get the platinum trophy for getting everything else.
Nice. So I'm kind of a big deal. There's some accessories that we didn't talk about in our PlayStation episode that
I
game
know.
clued me in on. Like there was a webcam and all kinds of stuff for the PlayStation. And by the way, the multi-tap was on PlayStation 1.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Cool.
And
That's
two.
that was my gaming week, so that's about it. And that pretty much rounds out the episode. Before we go, boys, come on, around the room. Swift, what do you got?
I'll go last.
Okay.
I got one.
Go.
All right. When you start a cult in a video game or in real life, don't get too emotionally attached to your followers, because you'll find maybe someday that they'll get old and they will eventually die. So when I named all my cult members after my friends, like one of them that was theStroke. Right now, my highest level cult member is Swiftmida.
What do you mean was?
Um,
I'm dead? I'm the guy that died?
Yeah, you got elderly and died, dude.
Oh,
Stroke was also good reason not to get emotionally attached. The Stroke was the one that wanted to eat the bowl of poop.
So,
for the quest.
oh, I wonder why I fucking died.
Yeah, so don't get too emotionally attached to them. They're all expendable, just like in a real life cult.
Yeah,
Okay?
I don't think you, as a cult leader, you're allowed to be attached emotionally because you're a sociopath.
But I also didn't think a cult leader would be the one cleaning up the shit all over the ground, but apparently that's my job as well.
Yeah, you gotta hire a
Garbage.
janitor or
Yeah,
something.
you need to
dude.
delegate.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool.
It's like a Digimon or
I'll leave you with this.
Tamagotchi.
I'll leave you with this thought. If you're gonna have a friend that's gonna run a cult, and he's gonna serve you shit on your deathbed, maybe rethink your friends or rethink your
No,
cult.
you were a young whippersnapper level 2 cultist.
Okay.
Just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, wanting to eat poop.
I was OG in the cult of Pickle Matt.
It's called the Oracle of the Pickle.
All right.
That's
Swift.
what it's called. Every time I go to my cult, it says Oracle of the Pickle.
Hi, Nana S16. We're almost done here, but thanks for dropping by. Swift, what are you going to leave these guys with?
I guess if anybody has any tips or tricks on how to make Elden Ring easier, hit me up, please. But also, like we talked about today, if you don't have the time or whatever to dedicate to gaming and dying and everything, don't be afraid. It's just as fun of a game if you beat it on easy versus legendary.
Or if you're playing Wanted beating on pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that.
Just here's what I'll say. Think about how much time you'll save yourself by not going to the loading screen to reload after you die.
True.
Put it on easy.
I tell you what, I think I have like 10 and a half hours gameplay time on Elden Ring. I'm pretty sure about 4 of those is loading screen. So
You die.
do yourself a favor and pick
Does
the
it give
easier
you
setting.
does it give you tips every time you die, like most video games?
Yeah, I mean it
I
just
bet-
about like random stuff.
Yeah, it
I bet
doesn't
you
like
start rolling through the same
specifically.
tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Mario. It doesn't give you a super power up till it be like, here you go, little guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. It's been a week of gaming. Elden Ring. We're gonna get Swift figured out. We're gonna get him on. Maybe that's what you need. You need a new character.
Dude, I don't know. We'll see. Have you beat Godric the Grafted yet?
Oh yeah.
You
he
did?
that a long
I thought
time
he
ago.
was easier than Margit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw that he was the second boss.
I think a lot of people say that Margit is one of the tougher bosses in the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I will say I am aware of the existence of something that takes half of Margit's health somewhere in the game. If you want to research that, but
I'm
there
trying
is-
not to do.
there is
too
a
much
training wheels in
research.
there.
Yeah.
All right. And we didn't talk about it, but you can summon other players. Like
I know.
you talked about playing on easy. Just
do it.
swallow
Get
your
past it,
pride.
dude.
Summon.
No one cares.
Summon. Let me solo her or whatever his name is, and just
In 50 years on your deathbed, is anybody going to bring up the fact that you summoned Stroke to beat Margit
Nope.
in Elden
no.
Ring? No, because you'll be deep into Elden Ring 17.
Here's what you do: get it to 100 deaths, and then summon me.
Oh gosh.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for one more week of One More Game. You can find us at OMG_podcastGG on Twitter and Instagram, as well as twitch.tv/OMGpodcast. You also find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or OMGpodcast.podbean.com, or anywhere else you might find your podcast. I'm over at twitch.tv/theStroke, streaming from time to time, as well as twitch.tv/Swiftmida for Swift, and then twitch.tv/ImPickleMatt. He'll be streaming. What's your plan? Cult of the Lamb?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, Cult of the Lamb actually has some really cool Twitch integrations where they can give you devotion and you can raffle off followers as well.
So you can build
So I
an
might-
actual cult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
Dude,
can like. Go ahead.
I actually did for the first time in a long time. I streamed for an hour yesterday playing Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
But I had just gotten back from a baby shower, and it was not your typical baby shower. There was a lot of drinking going on. So I'm pretty sure if you were, I think I had like one person watching, but I'm pretty sure they just basically saw me staring through my monitor as I was playing this game.
As a cultist,
So,
they probably thought you
are the
were in a cult.
cultist.
yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think I said like 3 words the whole hour that I streamed. So
Now that's engagement. Get in there and watch Swift. Follow him,
Yes, sir.
subscribe, and let him know what
like
he's
and
doing.
subscribe, baby.
Not
He's
let him
gonna
know what
report
he's
it to the
doing right.
FBI.
Just let him know what he's doing so he can be aware. All right, cool. Thanks for joining us as always. And we'll leave you with one final thought. Just because you have to grow up doesn't mean you have to stop playing. Game on, gamers, and we'll see you on the next episode of One More Game. Gentlemen, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.
We back.
I bet Dizzy Kitten is way more successful at streaming than I will ever be.
Yeah, why? Why do you
Weird.
think that?
Yeah, she has one different thing going for her.
Boobs.
That's it.
Oh, we're still live, guys. Just kidding.
That's right. Oh my gosh, her FAQ.